We are now going to introduce you to the third candidate for Register of Probate, another member of the City of Presidents. Her name is Kathryn Hubley. Kathy is currently and has been for a number of years a member of the Quincy School Committee. So welcome, Ms. Hubley, and you have the floor for 15 minutes. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much for having me. Probably most of you know me, but I'll introduce myself as well. Hi, my name is Kathryn Hubley, and I'm running for Norfolk County Register of Probate, and I respectfully ask for your vote. I'm a mom, a foster parent, teacher, family advocate, office specialist, and school committee member for 8 years. Currently just got into my third term. Part of those 8 years, I was the vice chair for 2 of them that I was unanimously voted in by my colleagues, which was a huge honor. I'm a lifelong Democrat, raised in a union household. My dad was a member of the 391 union, and he was a bill poster. I grew up in Weymouth, attended Weymouth Public Schools, got my associates in early childhood education, my bachelor's in psychology with coursework in domestic violence. I also achieved my Director II certification for the Department of Early Education and Care, and I'm extremely nervous. Thank you. Currently live in Quincy with my husband, Walter, and our 2 kids, Victoria and Nathan, both recent 2020 graduates, my daughter, Victoria, of Lesley University, and my son, Nathan, of North Quincy High School, going off to Wentworth in the fall. I'm also been a volunteer at the Boston Marathon, at the Quincy Pride Day, and am a parent member of the Quincy Parents Advisory Council for Special Education. My son was born with bilateral hearing loss, so I'm very attuned to persons with hearing impairments. I'm also a member of the Norfolk County Sheriff's Juvenile Substance Abuse and Mental Health Task Force. In 2011, my husband and I started the Wallaston Hill Neighborhood Association, and I am part of the team that brings Porch Fest to Quincy each year. The Register of Probate helps families in challenging situations such as adoption, divorce, child custody issues, and bereavement. I believe my professional and personal experience makes me uniquely qualified to serve. The Register of Probate needs to be an empathetic person who cares, not a politician. It's not about running a business, it's about helping families. There are a lot of people in the probate office that look at issues from the perspective of a lawyer. I look at issues from the perspective of a mom. I am committed to serving the families of Norfolk County with integrity, empathy, and compassion to ensure fair and equitable services for all people. And also the note, if elected, I would be the first woman to be the Norfolk County Register of Probate since 1954. Issues that I would work on, my #1 priority would be accessibility. Not everyone has a car, and not everyone is tech savvy, and not everyone has the same online connections. Obtaining resources to the probate office needs to be fair to all, and there needs to be options. I believe online access can be important to some, but not equitable to all, and even in the best conditions. Satellite offices need to be an option and need to be discussed. Expanding the Lawyer of the Day program so more representation is available to those who are in need is very important, especially having lawyers that are able to translate, especially in Spanish, I've heard is very well needed. Elder abuse information sessions on reporting and identifying need to be expanded on. We need to be protecting our seniors from scams. Primarily, I want to be elected to help. During COVID, I spent my time running a food drive for Interfaith Social Services, collecting over 40 bags of groceries and diapers for those in need, collecting over 800 masks for our elderly in Quincy at the Quincy Housing Authority, Braintree Housing Authority, and the Westwood Senior Facility. I also helped at the Dedham Food Pantry and at the Weymouth Food Distribution for the elderly and immune compromised. Currently, I am getting ready to start my annual September, October collection for hats and mittens for homeless children in need and kids in need. This is my 12th year running this program. Why? This is because this is who I am. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Kathryn Hubley, and I respectfully ask for your vote. That's Kathryn with a K, and I'm KathrynHubley.com if you want to go and check out my information. And I have a video currently running on there as well that has more information about me. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some questions. So we have the first one from Karen Cobb.
Hello, it's nice to meet everyone. My first question would be, how would you help the probate court serve people with disabilities and the deaf community better? How would you specifically increase accessibility, given that the courts right now are doing virtual meetings that may not be accessible to deaf and hard of hearing participants? Thank you.
Well, first comes to mind is my son does a lot of the Zoom classes online, and he hasn't had a problem yet, but he has special headphones that he uses that help him out considerably. And he says that they're very clear, so that does help him out a lot. But he's also doing a lot of one-on-one that's not a lot of moving, and it's a lot of instruction. So I would say a lot of, we need closed captioning. Especially, we need to have people be able to look at the camera and be able to enunciate very well. And if it's unable, they need to have somebody that can be doing this, because I think it's very important to be able to have somebody that can be able to do that. And enunciating is really important when trying to lip read. And I know my son does a lot of that. He's actually been tested with his hearing aids, and still noted that 80% of what he is even hearing is also lip reading. So that's extremely important. To be able to see a face on is extremely important.
So for deaf people who cannot hear, would you get interpreters to help them understand what the courts are saying in virtual meetings that are voice off deaf people that do not talk and do not lip read?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I think that there should be interpreters as well, definitely doing sign. I think that's very important, that everyone needs to be able to be heard and listen and be able to communicate in the way that they understand and hear and communicate the best. And that's ultimately what it is. There needs to be compassion and understanding for what people need, and people need to be heard and have a forum to be able to express what it is that they need to be able to make this experience happen for them. As I said, there needs to be options. There needs to be lots of options. This is just one of them. And even in person, if we do go to during more COVID, I mean, there needs to be masks that have the face shields. They need to be able to see the person's face, and there needs to be signing, and there needs to be absolutely, there needs to be options for everything. There needs to be a way to listen to people and hear and listen with compassion. And that's the ultimate thing, is listening with compassion and not just saying, okay, it's fine. There needs to be lots of options.
Okay, so you will ensure that the ADA coordinator at the probate court will be in close communication with your office, and that you will have a list of ASL interpreters, and that you ensure that every hearing is captioned or has card available. Again, I'd like to point out that for deaf communities, for people who are culturally deaf that do not speak or read lips at all, it's going to be critical. I have personal stories from many deaf people who did not get support in the court system. So all deaf eyes are going to be on this election. So we are appreciating you giving us the time to make our voices heard. So thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm sensitive to, and I would be very, very prone to be keeping my eye on this and making sure it was something that was not overlooked.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we have a question from Danielle Kemp.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Danielle.
Thank you for running. Yes, we were. And for those who don't know, Karen, who was just speaking, is deaf herself. Anyway, she already covered my accessibility question. You mentioned that you've been dealt with foster care. I know a lot of times at these hearings, children show up and they are too young to be there. There's no childcare. How would you handle that if you were elected Register of Probate?
That's a tough situation. I've actually talked to a number of people who want their child there.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't always agree with a parent's decision, but that's their choice. They're their parent. And if both parents are agreeing to this, that's a parental choice. So for those parents that are choosing to not want their children there, I think that like I said, there needs to be options. There needs to be things that can be done to be looked into, and all these things need to be looked into with seriousness. And from a mom's perspective, yeah, there needs to be, like I said, these things need to be discussed and looked at seriously and listened to people's needs. And that's what I bring. I bring a component of wanting to make sure that everyone is heard and listened to from a different perspective, and not just think we can't do it. We need to figure out how to do it. If this child is in foster care, we need to turn to the social workers and see if there's something they can do. There needs to be, maybe this is a time when a visitation could be scheduled, if this is part of, if that's something to think out of the box. Is this is something we can do? But like I said, if it's something that both parents do want, you need to respect the parents' wishes. And I have talked to some that do want their children there.
Now I get that nuance. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a question, please either raise your virtual hand or send a message in the chat. Oh, and we have one from Hannah Cohen.
Hi, Kathy. So I know you spoke a little bit about some programs you'd like to see expanded. Are there specific programs that you'd like to see added, or community partnerships that you would like to build if you were elected to this position?
Added. I've heard a number of people talk about calling the probate court and getting the machine. That's something that a lot of people are very not happy with that. I would like to look into having a person answer the phone. I think that would be extremely important, and possibly answering emails more readily. I found that that's something that people are really upset about. As far as working with places, I think, like I said, the lawyer of the day could be adapted to working with interns. I think that more outreach needs to happen in that capacity. That could be bringing more people into working in our lawyer a day program.
Okay, great. And we have a question from Colin McMahon.
Hi, Kathy. So my question has to do with budgets and priorities. So COVID-19 is really stressing state budgets right now, and things will probably be very tight in the coming years. So that means that, candidates may have lots of great ideas and want to do many, many great things, but they just don't have the resources to do them all. So if given the hard choice, which initiatives would you prioritize? What do you think needs to get done?
Oh, that's hard. I think I'd want to get into the office first and talk to the people working in the office and find out what they also think. But if I was going to go with my own gut instinct, I really believe that getting out into doing the accessibility is huge. I'm just really finding that a lot when I talk to people. It's just really hard for people to get to the Canton office. So I would say that that's number one, and having them one-on-one is just it's very important to many people. So I'm going to go with, I think I have to go with if I'm answering you for what I feel, I would say that. But realistically, I'd want to get into the office and talk to the people that are actually working day to day in there and find out what they feel that they feel is more important. And I would be apt to listen and understand and understand how they feel as well before just jumping in my own initiatives. I'd want to listen to everybody else first and collaborate and express myself and say, this is what I've felt, this is what I've talked to people, this is how what people have told me, but what do you feel? You see people on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, I would want to listen to their points of view as well and take that into deep consideration before just jumping into it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kathy, thank you so much. You have about 20 seconds to give your closing remarks. Thank you for the great questions, everybody. Go.
Once again, I'm Kathryn Hubley. I respectfully ask for your vote, and I've been in Quincy. I do a lot for Quincy. I respect community, and I really want to do what I've been doing for Quincy, for all of Norfolk County, and helping children and families. And like I said, Kathryn with K, KathrynHubley.com. Please go to my website and check out my information. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Kathleen. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right.